This my two Satoshis. This my two Satoshis. Who need 2 cents when they can get double from stacking Toshis? Yeah.
It's your boy Crypto Blood, and welcome to another My Two Satoshis Crypto News edition. Look, we got some things to talk about. What the hell happened to Bitcoin is the question, right? You're wondering, why is it going down? What's Crypto Diamonds, aka Crypto Blood, right about the direction, short-term direction of Bitcoin? I'll explain all that in today's episode. We're also going to look at Microstrategy buying another $94 million worth of Bitcoin. They are now 5.9, just might as well say $6 billion into this position. Now, they did only spend about 3.9, somewhere around there, billion worth in its initial principal for these Bitcoin. So they're up almost 2 billion. The article talks about how they've made 2 billion, but no, there's a stark difference, a distinct difference between making 2 billion and your portfolio being up $2 billion without taking any profits. That's not P&Ls. That does not mean those realized gains. And that's very important for, people to understand that. I've personally said for a couple of years now that MicroStrategy, in my opinion, is making a mistake by going so heavily into Bitcoin. They should probably diversify, and I think they have diversified. They're not just in Bitcoin. I think they have some Ethereum as well. But, this is a publicly traded company. So what are they doing buying all this Bitcoin? People may not know Michael Saylor has really run a few companies into the ground in his past. Not saying that failure doesn't help you do better in the future in business. Not at all. That's definitely a part of being a successful business person, is from learning from your mistakes. But to me, I think this is kind of crazy how far they're going with investing in Bitcoin at this point. But hey, they're now up $2 billion. Unrealized gains, profits here. You guys will have to let me know in the comments below. What do you think about this? Are they too aggressive? Is MicroStrategies too aggressive in their holdings with Bitcoin? Also, we're going to look at Dogecoin. This was an interview that Kitco did with the CEO of Coin Payments. I've been using Coin Payments literally since like the early days of cryptos, 2014, 15-ish, when they first came out. They really were one of the best payment infrastructures for accepting Bitcoin back in the day, and I've been rocking with them ever since. But the president, or CEO, I should say, of Coin Payments was on Kitco just a couple of days ago, and he made some interesting comments about Bitcoin, Dogecoin, and other cryptocurrencies. I'll show you the trend that he's seen from his company as far as what coins are being used the most. You'll be probably shocked to hear what is going on and the trend that's going on with Coin Payments. And again, we'll look at what's going on with the cryptocurrency markets. We're seeing a bad month for Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. Is it because of COVID? Are there other macro issues? You see the Dow falls and snaps a 6-day winning streak, and of course you see cryptos down as well. They're saying it has something to do with people or investors looking to divest out of riskier investments or risk on assets. I've told you guys about that term many times before. Is this a turning point? We'll talk about all of that on today's episode of My Two Satoshis. Let's get it. But before we start, if you guys find these types of videos informative, make sure you like, share, and subscribe, and click that bell to receive more videos like this. And before we get started, I do want to bring your attention to my partner on the channel, Bityard. They have a new Android app. They want you guys to test it out. They're improving the user experience. Download the app. Go to the link in the description I've provided you in this video and enter to win 60 million SOS tokens. That's been a hot topic as of late in the cryptocurrency game, SOS tokens. So you can get your chance to win some of those tokens by testing out the mobile app. So in order to thank their users for participating in the testing phase and giving feedback, they will give you $10 in USDT for trial funds as a gift. In addition to that, selected users that have submitted the most bugs and the most valuable feedback for rewards can have their stake at that 60 million SOS tokens. First prize is 33 million. That's equivalent to about $200. All right. Second prize is 16 million, which is about $100. And then lastly, 8.3 million SOS tokens, which is about $50. So get over there today, give Bityard some of that great feedback that they need. Also, the copy trading platform over there is the best I've seen, the easiest to use that I've seen, and is doing very well for me. So the link is in the description below. But let's take a look at the heat map and get a pulse check on the markets, we do see a slightly green day today, but that does not show the entire picture. We were down even more today. Earlier we did see a little bounce back. Bitcoin up 0.16%, is trading at $47,000 and $300. Ethereum's up 1/3%. It is trading at $3,740. Overall, if you look at the heat map, it's kind of like right there unched with the altcoins for the most part, but that doesn't show the whole picture. The whole picture is this. So we're seeing basically a channel forming here. This little capitulation moment here, I think, is still an area we need to watch and see if we will test that again, because that was at $41,000 Bitcoin. We're starting to, it looks like, consolidate within a new range here. If we break $45,000 Bitcoin, look out below even further. We saw the failed pump, okay, from the Fed. That was on the Fed FOMC meeting notes a couple of Wednesdays ago, and we did try to manage our way back up. We had a double, or actually a triple bottom here, but we did run into that resistance line that I told you guys about at 51-ish. Depends on what exchange you're on, but that was an area that I told you if we didn't breach, and we couldn't. We tried twice, actually we tried more than 3 times. I'm gonna count them out here: 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now you could group a couple of those in as a 3 strikes you're out type of situation, but in my opinion, ladies and gentlemen, we are heading lower in these crypto markets, ultimately to test that 43,000, and then we'll see if we can keep that. But if not, we're going to take out that 41,000 and head much lower, possibly all the way down to the $31,000 Bitcoin level, which was the original channel we saw ourselves in. All right, so not looking good. All you $100,000 Bitcoin people by the end of 2021, ain't happening. It's only like 2 days left. We know that's not going to happen at this point, so you can chalk that up, and maybe we can try to go for that next year sometime. But I ultimately think we are still going to test the $20,000 Bitcoin range, which was the previous cycle's all-time high. Let's see if I'm going to be right. Only time will tell. But as I've stated, guys, you need to look out for macro events, okay, that has an influence on cryptocurrencies. It's not just a bubble or a universe that we're in, and you don't have to watch out for what's going on in the regular economy, what's going on with the Omicron. You have to pay attention to all this, because Bitcoin, I'm going to just reiterate this, Bitcoin is a risk on asset, meaning if things start to look uneasy, if there's uncertainty in the markets, traditional markets like the equity slash, stocks or bonds, or just fundamentally in the economy, then that is going to affect what goes on in the crypto markets. They're saying here from CNBC that investors have shifted away from riskier investments such as cryptocurrencies due to the emergence of the COVID Omicron variant. I believe that that was kind of already priced in. We're actually seeing that the Omicron is not as bad as first thought. So I don't think that is necessarily the main reason. It may play a slight component in this move down, but I don't think that big of a deal actually. One point that is interesting to me is that this point made by CNBC is this: they're saying that cryptocurrencies tied to the metaverse, gaming, and decentralized finance are also pulling investors' interest away from Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Ripple, according to Brian Kelly. That is something I never thought about, and I actually agree with that. You're going to continue to see the dollars sucked away from Bitcoin, even if the money doesn't leave the crypto space in general. The Bitcoin dominance is currently at 38%, so that's pretty low, and it's on the way down. It's continually heading lower, and it is because of, the markets are starting to diversify their portfolio out of Bitcoin into the more utility-based aspect of the cryptocurrency and blockchain industry. And I do think that's going to continue. That's going to be a pattern that you're going to continually see going forward. So you should be looking at these metaverse tokens, the gaming space, even DeFi as the next wave up. When we do make that next wave up and Bitcoin goes to 100,000, well, guess what? A lot of those coins, the metaverse coins, the DeFi coins, are going to do way outperform Bitcoin by a long shot. So keep that in mind, and then you can go back and buy more Bitcoin if you want to, as a means of storing wealth. A partner over at Blockchain Coin Investors also said that today proof of work from the cryptocurrency mining machines is looked upon negatively by a lot of investment communities because of the energy it consumes. Yeah, I don't see energy as being the reason why we're seeing Bitcoin head lower at all. I'm thinking it has to do firstly with just uncertainty in the markets, right? In the traditional markets, is the economy going to slow down? Will the Feds be able to keep these interest rates low? All of that is a concern, a global or macro concern that is going to affect Bitcoin and crypto markets. So you have to pay attention to that. They also touched on Microstrategy, which we'll talk about next. It's down 21% this month, while Riot Blockchain has fallen 38%. Marathon Digital declined 31% as well. These stocks that own cryptocurrencies have, and this is the issue I have with Microstrategy, their main book of business has nothing to do with blockchain, but they have been accumulating so much Bitcoin. Now their publicly traded stock is greatly affected by what the Bitcoin price looks like. And let me tell you, Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies can be extremely volatile. So we'll see what happens though. Do I personally think Bitcoin is going to hit $100,000 by the end of 2022? I mean, it could. There are so many unknowns, right? We don't know what new variants are going to come between now and the end of 2022. Let's just say all things equal, we don't see any more scares. Of course, yes, Bitcoin will hit $100,000, but there's no way you can predict that at this point. It's just so much uncertainty, and we don't know how the Fed is going to maintain and manage this, what they call tapering, which I think they're going to reverse course. They can't stop printing the amount of money that they've been printing since '08 and ramped up since the pandemic. I think they're going to, have to backstep. And at that point, maybe Bitcoin and the stocks will start to rally again. But if they hold to what they're saying, then no, I don't think Bitcoin will hit $100,000. And I think the stock markets will put in a top. But again, and I know the Federal Reserve is not about letting the stock market head lower. So let's talk about MicroStrategy. So they just spent another $94 million to buy more Bitcoin. Its overall stake is now 5.9 billion. I told you guys that they only spent $3.75 billion for the Bitcoins that they currently hold, and it's now valued at $5.9 billion, just shy of let's say $2 billion. They are up. Unrealized profits, remember that, unrealized profits they are currently experiencing with their Bitcoin investment. So on paper it looks good, it absolutely looks good. However, I'm telling you, and Michael Saylor, he's running around, he's now Bitcoin Jesus, the new Bitcoin Jesus. Roger Ver, move over. But this guy has been on crypto maybe since 2019, a newbie in my book. So I don't think he understands how crypto can get down, and that being up unrealized $2 billion can be wiped out just like that with no issue within literally a month or two. So they could go being up $2 billion to being down $2 billion, a $4 billion swing easily. You guys know that. So I wouldn't look too much into this at this point. I personally think they are definitely overextending themselves in this capacity by investing so much into Bitcoin. Maybe invest more in your core business. That's what I would say. But at any rate, they are definitely putting and doubling down on their position. Just wanted to let you guys know that. And lastly, is Dogecoin a better cryptocurrency, or I should say currency, than Bitcoin? Well, let's see what the CEO of Coin Payments has to say about that. Firstly, I want to show you and highlight the trend that is changing in regards to what he's seeing as far as being used for transactions on his platform, on Coin Payments, which is a platform I've been using for over 6 years. He said last January we saw about 5 to 10% of transactions were in USDT, but now they're seeing 25% or higher. So the trend is that more and more people are starting to realize, look, Bitcoin is probably not, first of all, the best thing to barter and swap services with. right? You want to hold Bitcoin as a store of value, as a hedge against inflation and all of that. You don't want to spend your Bitcoins. The trend is definitely heading lower for the utility or use case within coin payments ecosystem. It used to be about 90% of all transactions were Bitcoin, and today they're seeing about 50 to 52%. So there has been a big drop. And I think it's going to continue that way. And hey, you can have your philosophy on what you think Bitcoin is or what it isn't. But if you just start looking at the numbers, that will give you exactly what the market looks at or interprets Bitcoin as. Is it a form of money or is it currency? I think it is a form of sound money or digital gold, not so much as a currency. Now, he does say in here about whether or not Dogecoin is a superior form of payments over Bitcoin. This is something that we know Elon Musk has said in the past. The CEO of Coin Payments said that Dogecoin is not unique in its properties as a potential form of payment. And I agree with that. There are a lot of coins out there that can do exactly what Dogecoin does or even better as far as speed, but it's more about the community. When he says here, what's the community? If you have 5 million people around the world that has Bitcoin, you have a community of 5 million people who have Bitcoin to spend. And conversely, if you only have 10,000 people using Dogecoin, then who is the community? And I agree with them. But here's the thing. We know that Elon Musk has so much influence globally, right? Not just within the crypto sphere, but in business in general. And if he continues to pump Dogecoin, then you're going to have more Dogecoin holders. So those individuals are going to want to spend Dogecoin. I personally think Dogecoin is a great currency. It's inflationary. I think 5 million coins per year. So that makes it a good fit for, hey, I should be using and spending my Dogecoin on a daily basis. If I want to buy some coffee, some tea, use Dogecoin, because I know that there is an inflationary aspect programmed into the protocol where you're always going to have new Dogecoins printed every year. I would use Dogecoin over using Bitcoin for my coffee or a cigar or whatnot. I think Dogecoin is great, but also stable coins are even better. And I've said this for many years now. Back in 2006, 16, 17, I said stable coins will be the dominant use case for cryptocurrencies in the future, and I'm sticking by that. I really think that stable coins will be used the most as we head further into the future. Not even Dogecoin, because people still, it's at the end of the day, they want some type of stability. Even though if that stability is trickling away, the value of that purchasing power is trickling away, it's doing it slower or at less volatile amount than even, let's say, a Dogecoin. Dogecoin can really swing really aggressively. It can be up 5% one day, down 10% the next. You can't, that's not a great utility for money if you have an alternative. And if that alternative is a stable coin, I think you're going to see that being used. Let me know your thoughts on that. Is Dogecoin a better use case for currency than Bitcoin? Or is even stable coins better than Dogecoin? Let me know in the comments. I want to know what you think about that. Bitcoin, we got to watch that $45,000 area. If we breach it, put an alarm out there. If we breach that, then lower we go. From the looks of it, that's what's going to happen. Let me know in the comments below. What do you think Bitcoin will do starting out the new year? Will it rally after the new year, after all this tax harvesting happens? I would love to know your opinion about that. That's pretty much it though for today, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you guys like, share, and subscribe, and click that bell to receive more videos like this. I'm out here, people. Holla!